Hi, is this the De Vasconcelos house?
Who wants to know?
I could tell the old coot was going to be trouble. My name's George Stobart. I was wondering whether...
The house is not open to the public.
This is the De Vasconcelos house.
And what business is that of yours, senor?
Look, all I want is to speak to the head of the household.
There is no household. Only the countess and myself.
Tell me about the Countess de Vasconcelos.
She doesn't receive guests. That's all you need to know.
You don't even know what I have to talk to her about.
She hasn't won the lottery, has she?
No, she hasn't won the lottery.
A more cunning man might have claimed that she had.
Oh yeah? They might have, might they?
And that more cunning man would have been kicked off the premises. The countess doesn't do the lottery.
What do you know about the Templars?
Who wants to know?
Are you angling for a bribe or something?
You have nothing that I want, senor, except the pleasure of your absence.
The guy was obviously protecting the Countess against the whole world. But why? Do you recognize this man?
No.
This lab pass mean anything to you?
Nothing.
Have you ever seen a lens like this before?
No, senor. Never.
Look at this tissue.
It's a tissue with some greasy muck on it.
Yes, that's right. I don't suppose this red nose means anything to you, does it?
Ah! El Flojo!
El who?
El Flojo! He is a clown on state television.
Oh, is he any good?
He is as funny as scabies, without the laughs.
Would you like to shake hands?
I do not think so, senor.
What do you make of this?
So that's it. You're a salesman.
If I was hawking medical supplies, I can think of better places to hawk them. Okay. Well, I'll see you around.
Adios.
It looked kind of sinister. Rats. It's locked. Over the doorway was a statue of a hooded figure bearing a cross. The hose ran from some sort of utility room all the way to the lawn.
My hose has stopped.
Yeah?
See, my hose never stops.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it. It's always sad when an old tradition comes to an end.
Did you have anything to do with it? See, you.
Well, I'm shocked. I'm mortified. How could you think such a thing?
Very easily, senor. Very easily. I'm going to find out why my hose has stopped. And that means going into the house. You are not, absolutely not, to go in the house. If you do go in the house, I will set the dogs on you.
I hid behind the armor and waited for developments.
Hey, you. I know you are there, American. All right, you dogs. I'm coming.
Madre Dios, who are you?
My name's George Stobart. I'm sorry to burst in like this.
You must leave at once. You're not wanted here.
Please, if you'd just listen a minute.
Very well. State your business, Senor Stobart.
There's been a series of murders, part of some conspiracy. Anyway, the trail led me here.
Here? There is nothing for the outside world here.
Over 600 years ago there was.
What do you mean?
This whole thing ties in somehow with the Knights Templar.
The Knights Templar are dust.
They had a secret that was so important, they went to a lot of trouble to hide it.
I do not see what this has to do with my family.
Your family had a strong connection with the Templars, right? I believe that they've planted some clues here.
Why should I believe a complete stranger who barges into my home?
Just let me have a look around. If I find nothing...
You'll be spending the night at the police station. Very well. Please, sit down.
Thank you. I know your family is involved with the Templars, but I don't know how.
You should be asking how my family were involved, Senor Stobart. The Templars ceased to exist centuries ago. And as for the De Vasconcelos, the line dies with me.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Okay, whatever happened almost 700 years ago. So, if the Templars left any clues, they're going to be in stuff that dates back to the early 14th century.
Obviously.
So, what do you have around here that's early medieval?
Early medieval. Let me think. Well, the house is relatively modern, a scant 3 centuries old. Or, of course, the chess set.
That chess set is over 600 years old? It must be worth a fortune.
Indeed it is. Not that I would part with it, of course.
No, I wouldn't either. That's the sort of thing that gets handed down to your children. Sorry.
Its value is less than you might think. The set is not complete. One of the pieces is a modern replacement. As to the original, it was lost a long time ago.
Nobody has any idea where it is?
No. The children had it when they were taken.
Children? What children?
All in good time, Senor Stobart.
May I examine the chess set?
Certainly. But do not move any of the pieces.
Okay, thanks. Close up, the modern piece stood out like a sore thumb. There was something else odd about the set. All of the original pieces had irregular bases.
My lady, I have to warn you, there's a... You! Why, I'll feed you to the dogs.
Lopez, what have I told you about feeding intruders to the dogs?
But, my lady...
Never without my permission. Senor Stobart, if I find that you're wasting my time, you will be fed to the dogs. Now, I want to show you something interesting. Follow me. Lopez, unlock the door, por favor. This is the only remaining structure on the estate contemporary with the Templars.
Nice. What is it, a summer house?
A mausoleum, Senor Stobart.
Oh.
Come with me.
Hey, senor.
Yeah?
I do not know what you have told my lady to be shown these favors, but I do not trust you.
You've got nothing to worry about. Aren't you coming in?
No, the dead do not interest me. My garden is a living thing. I will be there.
Wow, this is old.
It was constructed in the 13th century as the final resting place for the De Vasconcelos Templars.
It's well maintained.
These are my ancestors, and they deserve respect. I come here at least once a week to say a prayer for them.
Mind if I have a look around?
By all means.
I wasn't about to start heaving at sarcophagus lids with the Countess standing there. On removing the Bible, I found a pattern on the lectern top. Hey! It's a checkerboard! Now what? There was nothing to snuff. Feeling like an idiot, I put it down again. I couldn't reach up there. Close up, I could see that the pattern was made up of glass squares over a checkerboard pattern. Some of the squares had little jagged holes in the middle. May I ask you something?
You may ask.
What's the story with the glass chessboard?
Glass chessboard. Oh, the pattern on the lectern, purely decorative, I'm sure.
There are pieces of glass missing from it.
Oh, it has been like that since I was a girl.
The gaps in the glass chessboard look awfully deliberate.
No, it is ridiculous. What possible significance can it have?
It's part of a chessboard, and the gaps are for...
Senor Stobart, you cannot mean...
This place was built for the Templars. Your chess set is as old as the Templars. It's kind of suggestive, isn't it? That's a big candle. Where would you buy a thing like that from?
You could not. It is an antique, unique to my knowledge.
Just how old is it?
It dates from the Middle Ages, when the Moors controlled Spain. The candle was to be lit as a signal to the estate workers if the Moors attacked.
I think this must be it. This is what the manuscript is pointing to.
This is extraordinary. Am I to understand that the Templars left a puzzle here? And in all of this time we failed to realize that there was a puzzle?
It was wonderful to watch the Countess change before my eyes.
Right! Well, no time for wallowing in self-pity, eh, Senor Stobart? This mystery has had a good long run, but it ends here and now.
All those years of fatalism were falling away from her.
Lopez! Lopez! Put that hold down and listen! Go to the house and get my chess set! Yes! The old chess set! Oh, damn the game! Now hurry! My, this is exciting, is it not?
Don't get too excited. This could be a blind alley.
Oh, I do not believe that for a moment.
It's good to see you happy.
Happy? You know, I think I am.
You certainly know your history.
What's your opinion of the Templars, Senor Stobart?
The Templars? Well, they seem no worse than a lot of the knightly orders.
You are mistaken. Compared to the simpering politicians of the Hospitallers or the brutish Teutonics, the Knights Templar were the embodiment of chivalry. The filthy, money-grabbing French king and his pet pope did a great wrong. A bane settled upon my family at the whim of that self-seeking tyrant.
It was all a long time ago.
Some things don't die. Injustice is one of them.
Who exactly are these people?
My ancestors. These 5 men were all members of the Templars.
5 ancestors in the order. You must be very proud.
Not 5, 6.
Where's the 6th knight?
He was lost to us.
You lost an ancestor?
It is a family matter. It can have no relevance.
Well, it's connected with the curse of the De Vasconcelos, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I hope you will honor my desire not to talk about it.
Okay, well, I'll leave it for now. While we're waiting, I'd really like to know what happened here. I mean, the curse and everything?
It all began at the time of the dissolution of the Templars. Don Carlos had already left their ranks to become a scholar.
Don Carlos, is he the guy who went missing?
Si, but he had reckoned without the local bishop. Their bishop envied us our lands and determined to use the papal edict as an excuse to destroy us. Don Carlos was on one of his scholarly journeys when the Inquisition arrived. When Don Carlos returned, it was to find his loyal manservant slain and his children gone.
They took the kids? But why?
Oh, we will never know. The bishop denied all knowledge of the children's disappearance. But witnesses had seen his men kill the servant who had been charged to protect them.
What happened to Don Carlos?
He swore he'd find his children if he had to go to the edge of the world. He put on his armor and took up his sword and shield and rode out alone. He was never seen again. Lopez, you have the pieces.
Si, my lady, as you asked.
Por favor, Senor Stobart, would you be so kind?
My lady.
Calm yourself, Lopez. I believe Senor Stobart's motives are pure.
Very well, my lady. My lady seems to trust you.
But you don't.
No, senor.
It fits, Senor Stobart. It fits.
Working quickly, I found which pieces went into which holes.
Senor Stobart, look!
What is that? It's not the Holy Grail, is it?
No, Senor Stobart. It is the communion chalice of the De Vasconcelos, missing for almost 700 years.
Wow. Well, go on.
I cannot. I can hardly believe it is real.
Go ahead. Live a little.
Are you sure? This is your moment of triumph, Senor Stobart.
Sure, I'm sure. The possibility of death traps only occurred to me a few days later.
So the curse of the De Vasconcelos is lifted?
Oh no, the Countess was thrilled to find the lost chalice. But there's still the riddle of the missing knight.
Well, you can forget about that now and get back to finding the Templar's secret.
Actually, I promised the Countess I'd find Don Carlos.
You what?
I can explain everything.
You have got the odds for a withered old Spanish aristocrat?
The Countess entrusted me with the chalice and the quest for her ancestor's tomb.
You're as crazy as she is. Haven't you got enough problems? Khan and the Templars?
It's all part of the same thing. The chalice is important, I'm sure. The manuscript pointed us to the knight, and I have to find him.
What then?
I don't know. But when the knight and the chalice are reunited, maybe I will. Labino explained who the Hashashin were.
Yeah?
The cult of the assassins.
Oh, boy!
Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the face of the statue I saw at the bull's head. This is the chalice I discovered in Spain.
I still can't figure out why the Countess gave it to you. After losing it for all those years, she simply gave it away to a total stranger? She's one prawn short of a paella.
The Countess is a fine lady. You shouldn't compare her with seafood.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's something going on between you and that Countess.
Are you serious? She's old enough to be my grandmother. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay.
The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well. Excuse me, Father.
Pardon?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all, monsieur. It will be my pleasure to help you.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
What do you make of this chalice?
It certainly looks very old.
About as old as this church, I think.
There seems to be an engraving on it.
Yeah? What does it say?
I do not know, it is very tarnished. With your permission, I could try polishing it. I promise I will be very careful.
That'd be very good of you.
This shouldn't take very long. Feel free to look around.
Okay, thanks. Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world. I guess. I was surprised Philip le Bel had left this place alone. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout. A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. The lens fitted into the end of the scroll like a hand into a glove. Hey! A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date. Let me see. MCCC-XIV. That's 1314. Hello again, Father. Hey, thanks.
It is my pleasure, monsieur.
What was the writing on the chalice?
It was not writing, my mistake. It was a coat of arms. The remarkable thing is that it seems very familiar.
Yeah?
Oui, I think I have seen it on that wall tomb in the far corner. That winged horse is quite distinctive.
Did you know that the center window conceals an image of a man burning at the stake?
The burning man?
What, you knew?
That there was a hidden image? No. But the church has a reputation for being haunted. Many times people have claimed to have seen a burning man in the window. But when others they look, there is nothing. Perhaps the light has to be just so for the figure to appear.
Yeah, or maybe you need a special lens. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church, then.
Just a little.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah, oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that. Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Now that my attention had been drawn to it, there was no mistake. There was no name on it. but the coat of arms was undeniably the Pegasus of the De Vasconcelos family. I'd found the last resting place of Don Carlos. My eye was drawn to the biblical references carved into the edge of the tomb. Hey, maybe these biblical references mean something. Psalms 32:7, John 4:11, Corinthians 1:4-5, and just one more, Psalms 22:21. I may not be perfect, but I've got a memory like a steel trap. The chalice had led me to these inscriptions, but it looked like a happy coincidence to me. After all, the De Vasconcelos arms were already on the manuscript. Nope, I was still convinced that the chalice had some significance all of its own. Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
While I was in Syria, I discovered a strange pagan statue. It was like a head with 3 bearded faces. Horrible.
That sounds as if it could be Baphomet, the idol described by the Templars.
The poor Knights of Christ had an idol that looked like that?
Allegedly, the description of the idol came from the evidence extracted by the Inquisition. Mind you, not one statue or idol was ever found on Templar property. Until now, that is. Just last month, a statue of Baphomet was unearthed right here in Paris.
Where?
At the Institut Hermétique de Naval. The statue is beneath the foundations. It was discovered by some workmen while renovating the building.
Can you tell me any more about the statue of Baphomet?
It's a fearful image, even now, a bearded head. The base of the statue is carved with Templar symbols. One of the workmen noticed a curious stain at the base. He claimed it looked like blood.
Blood?
That's right.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer.
That door is locked, monsieur.
Hi? Excuse me?
Oui?
Trying to get into a locked washroom. I had the strongest feeling of déjà vu. I'd like to use the washroom, but the door's locked.
Oh, that's no problem. You can have the key.
Thanks. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I didn't want to use that unless I really had to. I made an impression of the big key and the cake of soap. I carefully sprinkled the plaster into the soap mold I'd made of the key. Well, it had taken a while, but I had made myself a completely unconvincing plaster key, way too fragile to use in a lock. I'd have to substitute it for the real one. Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal. Then again, that plaster statue in Syria hadn't looked like stone until I'd been a bit artful with it. Maybe I could improve the key as well.
What is it?
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Do you mind if I use the phone?
Be my guest. I'm paid to guard this door. The phone can look after itself.
Hi, Nico?
George, what have you discovered?
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Is something wrong?
No.
George, why are you calling me?
Oh, no reason. I just wanted to hear your voice.
You did. Well, this is my voice saying, don't bother me, I'm busy.
Oh.
Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
Excuse me, could you help me?
What is it?
I've got a few questions. You're doing a fine job.
Merci. I have my professional pride.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gauloise smoke so stylishly.
It's a natural talent.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm being indifferent.
You're very good at that as well.
Merci. Vive l'indifférence.
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hello, Nico. It's me.
What do you want?
Some ideas.
You're the man on the spot, George. I can't hold your hand all of the time. Au revoir.
I wouldn't mind if you held it at least some of the time. I couldn't imagine what I'd achieved by turning the dial. A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here, even with the door open to the chill of fall. I couldn't imagine what I'd achieved by turning the dial. Hi again.
What is it?
It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
So, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm guarding. You expect to find me shearing sheep?
Take it easy. I just didn't realize you were a guard. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
Hi, it's me again.
What now?
I made this key out of plaster.
A thrilling! How clever! How pointless.
What does the word Templar suggest to you?
Templar?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So, what are you doing here?
I am having my break.
Yeah, I mean when you finish your break.
Oh, when I finish my break, an interesting concept, monsieur.
You'll probably need to think about it.
I could have another cigarette while I consider. Perhaps tomorrow too?
Okay, let me put things differently. What were you hired to do here?
I was hired to keep the archaeological dig in the basement of this building clear of debris, and to touch up damage to the door frames with my little pot of paint. It's a very responsible job. Unfortunately, I'm not a very responsible person.
So what do you know about the excavation?
I know they won't let me in to do my job. I would complain to my union, but
You couldn't be bothered to join.
right. Tell you what, though. I'm surprised at the sort of people interested in this excavation.
What's unusual about the visitors to the excavation?
None of them look like archaeologists to me.
Do you know what an archaeologist looks like?
Three-piece suits, crocodile-eyed attaché cases, Rolex oyster.
But no archaeologist dresses like that.
Quite right, monsieur, quite right.
So, who are they?
Who cares as long as they pay me?
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Killer!
Hi, Nico. It's me. I'm at the excavation site.
Hi, Georges. What's happening?
I'm at the excavation, but they won't let me in.
Damn! We need to know what's in there.
Don't worry. I've got a scheme. I'm going to need your help, though.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
I want you to keep somebody on the phone for a while.
Who?
A painter. I need to get at his pot.
Oh, okay.
Stay on the line. I'll go and get him. Hi, it's me again.
What now?
You've got a phone call.
For me? Are you certain?
It's a woman. She sounded hot.
What woman? She must be mistaken, monsieur.
Well, she asked for that hunk of a man with the nicotine fingers and his ass hanging out of his pants.
Certainly sounds like me. Stand back. It wouldn't do to keep the lady from her hunk.
No way.
Well, monsieur, what a strange woman. She was all over me, and then suddenly, nothing but abuse.
Really?
What? Abuse? Ah, well, I have a cigarette to finish. And monsieur, if she calls again, I am not available.
Hi again.
What is it?
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Never mind. Here's the key.
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Never mind. Here's the key.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Quickly and without fuss, I swapped the fake key for the real thing. I wasn't that interested in what might go into a restroom's garbage to investigate.
What is it?
I couldn't give him the keys. The false key looked pretty convincing, but it felt exactly like what it was. Painted plaster. He was bound to detect it. No way. I turned the heating off. I figured I'd best not bother Nico again until I'd got a good reason.
What is it?
I held my breath and hoped that he wouldn't notice the substitution. Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Hi, Nico. It's me again.
I'd guessed. What do you want this time?
What did you say to the painter?
I shan't repeat it, Josh.
Look, I need to get the guard out of the way. Could you call back and ask him to get the painter again?
Okay, I'll call back soon.
This looked like a good place to watch things develop.
Hey, you! It's the phone.
Yeah? Who is it?
How should I know? What am I, your social secretary?
It's not a chick, is it?
Yes, it's a woman. Are you going to answer it?
Does she have a warm, sensual voice like molten chocolate?
Yes, she has a really sexy voice. Now get a move on.
I'm not talking to her.
I can see that. You're wasting time talking to me.
No, you don't understand. I refuse to talk to her.
You refuse. You refuse. I'm wasting valuable time.
Don't make me laugh. Your time valuable? You just stand around all day.
I have a highly responsible job. Ha! Don't me, you elephantine oaf. My job is important.
Impossible. They would have hired somebody competent in that case.
Meaning what?
Instead of which they hired a dismal rent-a-cop like you. All epaulettes and no brains.
Why, you...
This looked set to carry on for some time. It was too good an opportunity to miss. Close up, The pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side. And there it was, decoded by the curves of the chalice, the image of a church. I found out what the chalice was for.
You've solved the puzzle?
Yeah, there was a distorted picture at the Baphomet site. When I viewed it in the polished surface of the chalice, it changed.
What did it show?
A picture of a church with a square tower. Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the lens I found on Klausner's body in the bull's head. I guess I'd better return the chalice to the Countess.
Hurry back, Georges.
I'd been planning to return the chalice anyway, but I hadn't expected the trail to bring me here. The Villa de Vasconcelos was as picturesque as ever. The weather was still clear, and Lopez was still watering the damn lawn. I was beginning to suspect that he was surgically attached to that hose. Hi there, Lopez. How's tricks?
Senor Stobart, how pleasant to see you. You are well.
Fine, thanks. Is the Countess in?
She is waiting for you. I will show you up.
It's okay, I know the way.
Senor Stobart, I feel I owe you an apology.
No, you don't.
I was impolite on our first meeting.
Look, Lopez, just forget about it. I came on like a snake oil merchant. I wouldn't have trusted me in your shoes.
You do not understand. Finding the chalice has given my lady a new lease of life. It's a marvel. She smiles, she laughs. The tradesmen are saying that she is on Prozac.
Senor Stobart, oh, what a pleasure. Please, sit down.
Hi, Countess. The pleasure's all mine. I've brought back your chalice.
Why? You've had it cleaned.
Yeah, I met an obliging priest with a soft cloth.
Have you resolved the Templar mystery?
No, not yet. I don't even know what it is I'm after.
There are many stories of the knight secreting great wealth away.
Whatever. All I know is I don't want the bad guys to get it.
Ah, to be young and live in a world of moral absolutes.
I discovered something amazing with that chalice. In Paris, I found a church where they recognized the coat of arms. I found the tomb of Don Carlos de Vasconcelos.
You are sure? There can be no mistake?
The coat of arms on the chalice matches the one on the tomb.
Incredible. You have my most profound thanks. I must go there as soon as possible.
Yeah? Well, I'd be happy to show you the city. There's something else that I discovered carved on Don Carlos's tomb. Biblical references.
What are the references, Senor Stobart?
Psalms 32:7, Corinthians.
I am not a good enough scholar to know the Bible chapter and verse. I meant, what are the quotations?
You know, I forgot to ask the priest. Do you recognize this man?
No, I have never seen him before in my life. Who is he?
I've got a couple of names for him, but they're probably false. He's the killer.
No, his face is utterly unfamiliar.
I'll have a look around if that's okay.
My home is your home. I shall remain here.
I didn't recognize any of the titles, apart from an ancient edition of Don Quixote. From the window, I could see some sort of balcony. It didn't look like it was used too often. I doubted the Templars had hidden anything in there. It was way too warm to light the fire. I wasn't going to put on the armor, and I couldn't see anything else to do with it. It was just a little utility room with no exit, unless you counted the window, and I didn't. I couldn't reach up there. It was the Spanish Bible I borrowed from the mausoleum. I couldn't climb up there without breaking something. The candle had burnt brilliantly. but only for a couple of minutes. Some kind of special formulation, I guess. And had yielded up this. A complex shape expertly cut in stone. I figured it was some kind of key. George Stobart, grave robber. No, I don't think so. Hello again. Here's the Bible from the mausoleum.
Very well. Let us begin. The first reference.
Psalms 32:7.
Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. My hiding place.
Don't get your hopes up too high. This might just be leading us to where we found the chalice.
You are right, of course. The next.
Okay, John 4:11.
John 4:11. Here. The well is deep. The next. Quickly.
Okay. Corinthians 4:5.
Here it is. Will bring to light the hidden things. Any more?
Just one. Psalms again. 22:21.
Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. The last is confusing. Lions, unicorns, what's it mean?
I can't guess.
Salient points seem to be a hiding place and a deep well. In no sense is their mausoleum a well, Senor Stobart.
Is there a well in the grounds?
I do not know. I suppose that there must have been once upon a time. Lopez is the man to ask about anything pertaining to the estate.
I'll just have another look around.
Very well.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
You must know just about everything that there is to know about this place.
See, I have lived my whole life here in the service of the Di Vasconcelos.
Do you know of a well anywhere around here?
Well, si, senor. This used to be a fortified villa. How can you last a siege without water?
Great! So where is it?
How should I know? The well was covered over in the last century. It was dangerous, you see.
And you have no idea where it was?
None. It was hidden even before my grandfather's time.
Well, you must have a vague idea of where the well is.
It must have been in the old house's courtyard, so that would put it around here.
Here? Okay. Now, how do we find it?
There might be a way. Let me think about it.
Any ideas yet?
We are looking for a source of water, see?
Yes.
For generations, the Spanish country folk have had a secret way of locating water, even if it is meters beneath the ground.
Ah, you're not talking about water dousing, are you?
Eh?
You know, you get a stick and walk around until the stick twitches and dig there.
Oh, you've heard of it.
Yeah, I think most of the planet has. Okay, let's get a stick.
Uno momento. It must be a special stick, a Y of hazel.
Right. Do you have any hazel trees?
See, here. That is hazel.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios, Senor Stobart.
I went over to find a suitable stick. Aha! Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Well, I got my divining rod. Now what?
Simplicity itself, senor. Hold the wand at the upper ends of the Y. Apply a little tension with your wrists so that the slightest movement of the wand tip is clear, and walk slowly and steadily over the area.
Sounds easy enough. We'll find this well in no time.
Senor Stobart, you've found something.
This is it. This is where we find the secret of the Templars. Hidden here for hundreds of years. Lost from the sight of man until now. The mystery is revealed.
It's a tin can.
I've been walking up and down with a twig in my hands, looking for a tin can.
It had water in it. That's what the dowsing stick must have detected.
I'd have to check with an archaeologist, but I don't think the Templars left that.
In truth, Senor Stobart, the loan was laid many, many years ago. This can could date back to the Napoleonic Wars.
Get rid of it and I'll try it again. Lopez threw the can away. It seemed to fall an awfully long way. The splash at the end confirmed what we both suspected. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
It has been here all the time. All those years and nobody found it.
Stood in awe for a moment, marveling at the secrets all around us.
I could have fallen down that.
The well had been lost for decades at least. The air was cool after the noon sun, but that's not what gave me goosebumps. I have a really, really bad feeling about this. I'd need tools to move all that stuff, heavy equipment that just wasn't available. From a distance, the lion's head had been impressive. Close up, it was frightening. Hey, one of the fangs is a separate piece. I could hear the sound of a lot of stone moving, and I knew I was in danger. Oh, very funny, you psychos.
Signor Stobar! Signor Stobar! Are you all right?
It's okay, Lopez, I'm fine.
Che tutto mi has done? You gave me a scare.
Nice try, Templars. I wish that I had Leary's flashlight now. It just felt like a pitted stone wall. I'd almost been killed for the sake of a red herring. There, in the middle of the door, I could see some kind of socket. It looked like this wasn't quite the dead end it seemed. Open sesame! Another secret door! Before I left, though, there was one last thing to do. You won't be needing that replacement piece anymore, Countess. I found it with the children. You'll probably want to be alone for a while. I'll be out in the garden with Lopez.
George, welcome back.
Come in, George. It's good to see you again.
Is it?
Sure. What did you find in Spain?
Without Andre, we wouldn't have got this far, George.
Yeah, I know. The clues led to an underground chamber at the bottom of a well. The Templars had left a tapestry showing a chessboard. The white pieces were vastly outnumbered. There was a stream running across the board, and a Templar knight on a horse.
Does it mean anything to you, Andre?
No, nothing.
Maybe we should tell Andre what else you found, George.
There's a map and a Latin inscription to the west at the edge of the world.
George found that in a cave in Syria.
Yeah, where the assassin almost killed me.
Then we've got the burning of Jacques de Molay and the date, 1314.
From the window of the church in Montfaucon Square, one of the few places where nobody tried to kill me.
Then we have the image of a church that George found at the excavation. I don't recall anyone trying to kill you there either, George.
And finally, we have the tapestry in Spain. Did I mention I almost got killed there?
Not yet, but I'm sure you're about to.
It was only my cat-like reflexes that saved me from certain death.
Cat-like reflexes, eh?
And while I was risking life and limb, where were you, Andre? Getting your glasses fogged up over an Etruscan vase?
That's enough, boys. Can we get back to saving the world?
Of course. My apologies.
He started it.
Well, the Latin phrase are the words of Julius Caesar. He was describing the island of Britain.
Are you sure? The map didn't look much like Britain.
How come Caesar described Britain as being at the edge of the world?
To the Romans, the Mediterranean was the center of the universe. Britain was a remote, unfriendly place, inhabited by blue-painted savages.
It hasn't changed much.
They've stopped painting themselves blue.
Except when they go to a football match.
They used an extract from a plant called woad, Icetis tinctoria. The Scots were using it until fairly recently in the wars with the English.
Fairly recently? I don't recall the Scots being at war with the English. How recently are you talking about?
I believe William Wallace's men used it in the 13th century. They might well have been using it as late as...
You can't remember, can you?
1314.
Ah, we're back onto that, are we?
Andre, what is it? What do you mean?
1314 in Scotland. The Battle of Bannockburn.
That would explain the stream on the chessboard. That's what a burn is. Right, Andre? As in Bannockburn?
Right, George. And it gets better. Tradition has it that the Scots were helped by a shock force of, well, can't you guess?
Knights Templar?
Yes, a group of outlawed Templars. They are said to have turned the tide for the Scots.
And it all ends at a church in the Isle of Britain at Bannockburn in a church.
What are we waiting for? I'll call a cab.
I can't go.
Andre, you've been loads of help, but...
What George is trying to say is that you shouldn't feel guilty.
I was?
We understand you've got commitments. But listen, we have to hurry. Let's go, George.
We'll see it through. Oh, and, don't worry about us.
Oh, it must be dawn.
Oh, I guess so. And we must be nearly there. Somewhere, out there in the dark, is Scotland. We've come a long way together to get here.
Yeah. Let's hope it was worth it.
There's something I've been meaning to say to you, Nico.
Is this the right time and place, George?
There might not be another time. I don't want to waste this chance.
You don't need to say anything. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But here, with you. Now.
You're exhausted. Why don't you get some sleep?
Sleep? At a time like this?
Excited, huh?
Would you like something to help you sleep, dearie? I've got some tablets in my bag.
Oh, no. Thank you.
Thanks all the same, ma'am. Do you want to look after this ticket?
Not me. I don't want to get involved with the British Railways official.
Pardon me?
Yes, my dear.
Do you know what time we're due in Stirling?
6:15, but we're running 8 minutes late.
Do you know Stirling well?
Yes, I do. Is that where you two lovebirds abound?
Yeah, we
It's one of the places we thought we'd see on our holiday.
Be sure to visit the castle, won't you?
Oh, I'm sure it's a neat place. But we are not really interested in history, are we, George?
No.
I suppose espresso bars and boogie-woogie are more your cup of tea.
That's right. There's nothing George enjoys more than a good boogie.
Is there a church called St. Ninian's at Stirling?
Yes, there is. And I know why you're going there.
You do?
Of course I do. It's obvious you're in love. You're eloping, and they say romance is dead.
What's the book you're reading?
Oh, it's something I picked up at the station. A medieval detective story. Quite well written for that kind of thing. It's been out of print for years.
What's the title of the book?
The Crooked Crusader Caper by Molly Pegram. I assumed the author was a woman, but apparently not. His real name is...
Professor Nigel Pegram.
That's right. Do you know him?
No, I never met him.
George is a great fan of his, though.
Have you ever seen this man before?
An interesting-looking fellow.
Interesting. He's a killer.
And that's not interesting?
Where are you going, George?
Do I need to spell it out?
Don't snap at me. If you're going to take a leak, why don't you say so?
Okay, I'm going to take a leak. L-E-A-K.
Tickets, please.
Oh, hi.
That's a standard full-price peak return. Don't you have a senior citizen's rail card?
I rarely travel by train. My ticket is perfectly valid, is it not?
Well, yeah, but you could have saved up to a third of the cost.
I do not need to indulge in puffling thriftiness.
Blimey, you're a funny old bird and no mistake. Tickets, please, sir.
Here.
Off to Stirling, eh?
Yes, we are.
Well, I hope you won't be disappointed. It's a miserable place this time of year. Still, there's plenty of pubs and a lovely view from the castle.
Thank you.
I don't want to worry you, but there was something familiar about that guy.
Are you sure? You're tired. Perhaps you're mistaken.
Maybe. But I didn't like the look in his eyes when he spoke to you. Pardon me?
Yes, dear.
Do you know what this is?
Yes, I do. A young friend of mine shook my hand with one just the other day.
Yeah? Well, that's outrageous. He should be shot.
Perhaps. Still, his intentions were good.
Would you believe that this clown's nose led us to being on this train tonight?
I would indeed.
No, honestly, You would?
Certainly. You have an honest face.
Can't you sit still, George?
I need to go to the John.
While you're there, check out the buffet card, George. Unthinkable though it is, I am hungry enough to eat English food.
Okay. The door was locked. The door was locked. The door was locked. Oh, no. That gangster creep from the hotel, Guido. Well, he didn't scare me. Hey, Buster. This is a no-smoking car. Okay, maybe he did scare me. It got worse. I suddenly realized who the conductor had reminded me of. Eklund, Marquet's murderer. I really didn't want to shoot the breeze with this guy. Guido was still looking pretty menacing. Guido was still looking pretty menacing. I really didn't want to shoot the breeze with this guy. The door was locked. Hi, having a party?
No, this is British. Come on, join us, man. Away, Basha, wake up, man. What's company?
His breath was like the outlet from a chemical factory.
Excuse my mate, he's taking a nap. Sleeping like a bobby. I'll wake him up when we get to Newcastle.
We passed through Newcastle half an hour ago.
And I never noticed.
Listen, I need your help.
What's the matter?
There's a guy on this train who's trying to kill me.
Relax, man. You wouldn't try nothing with us in Basharia. We are veterans like, slow action at Brightlingsea.
I don't recall the British Army being involved in a conflict at anywhere called Brightlingsea.
Well, you just take it from me, pal. You're in safe hands.
What is that stuff you're drinking? It smells like gasoline.
Aye, I'll put hairs in your chest, like.
And your eyeballs, too, by the looks of you. Have you ever seen this man before?
Aye, man. He's chalky white and I claim my 10 quid, like.
No, he's an international assassin, and he goes by the name Khan.
Well, aye, man, but I was close, you know.
Does the name Merlin mean anything to you?
Merlin? King Arthur's queen?
Forget it. Would you like a red nose?
No thanks, pal. I got one of my own.
Do you know what this is?
No, man, what is it?
It's a hand buzzer.
You won't catch me out with that, pal.
If I'd wanted to catch you out, I wouldn't have shown it to you, would I?
Well, maybe it's his mate, pal. Like a clever double bluff, you know?
Have you ever seen anything like these before?
Yeah, those look right wicked.
It's not a weapon.
Well, no, but you have to be flexible, like.
See you later. I didn't want to wake him. To be frank, without a cold water hose, I didn't think I could wake him. I didn't want to wake him. To be frank, without a cold water hose, I didn't think I could wake him.
You haven't opened that window, pal.
Why not?
It's freezing out there. Leave it alone, man.
Hey, buddy. Have you ever seen this man before?
Aye, man. He's chalky white and I claim my 10 quid, like.
No, he's an international assassin, and he goes by the name Khan.
Well, aye, man, but I was close, you know.
See you later. I should have known better than to leave Nico and the old lady alone. Suddenly, the sort of Baphomet took second place to finding the girl I loved. Hey, buddy. Did you see what happened to the young woman in the next compartment?
No, Paul, I didn't. Have you lost her, like?
She's disappeared. The old lady, too. I think they're in trouble.
Oh, wait, man, an old lady, too.
Yeah. You gotta help me.
Maybe they went to the toilet, like.
I don't think so.
They never go on their own. Always in pairs, you know.
No, she's been abducted, I'm sure. I've got to go look for her.
What's stopping you, pal?
The conductor. He's not what he seems.
You want to avoid him, like?
That's about it, yeah.
No problem.
See you later.
Don't do it, pal. Don't jump.
I don't intend to jump. I'm going to climb on top of the train.
You're kidding, aren't you?
Just watch me.
Hold on there, pal. I'll give you a hand, like.
I'd always wanted to stop a train, and now was my chance. You saved our lives, but why?
You are always on the same side, Stobart. Different causes, but a common enemy.
The Knights Templar?
Don't call them that. The real Templars were a noble foe. These barbarians have no right to that name. These men are no better than dogs.
What are the Neo-Templars after? What is the Sword of Baphomet?
Not what you think, my friend. It is a weapon, yes, but one which our enemies will find difficult to wield. A double-edged sword. A power older than Timolay, older than Solomon.
We'll stop them. You and me together. And Nico.
No, George. My journey ends soon at the Garden of Paradise.
You're talking in riddles. Can't you tell me straight what they're after?
The sword symbolizes a colossal energy caused by the alignment of the Earth's natural power fields,
which are focused at St. Ninian's.
The energy endowed the Templars with the power which made them great. A power which made them charismatic to such an extent they could control the will of all around them.
How did you escape from the Bull's Head?
It is a long walk from the cliff of the Bull to the village, Stobart. Fortunately, I know the ways of the wilderness. Also, I have a sister who keeps a garage just around the corner.
Maybe not.
May Allah guide you to our enemies.
Thanks.
One last thing.
What? What is it? He's dead.
Don't even think about it, George.
What? Who?
Look me straight in the eye and tell me you weren't thinking of using that axe on Eklund.
Don't be foolish, woman. I was going to use it on you. The rear exit was barred and padlocked. I couldn't think of a single way the extinguisher would be of use in the absence of a fire. Underneath that heap of tumbled crates was Eklund. I wasn't about to help him out.
Don't even think about it, George.
What? Who?
Look me straight in the eye and tell me you weren't thinking of using that axe on Eklund.
Don't be foolish, woman. I was gonna use it on you.
Where do you think you're going?
Don't worry, I hadn't forgotten about you.
Untell me this instant, George Stobart.
I will, when I'm ready.
That's not fair, George.
No.
You took advantage while my hands were tied.
When Eklund pointed that gun at me, I thought I was gonna die. I thought of all the things I'd never get to do, and kissing you was at the top of my list.
George,
Uh-huh.
George, we've got to get off the train. Eklund could recover at any time.
So what are we waiting for? I'd feel happier if we had a gun or something.
Jan gave me something.
What?
His handbag.
Oh, great. If we run into any killers, we can give them a good buffeting. Didn't he have any weapons?
You don't know half of it. This bag's full of C4.
Wow. Why didn't you say so? Boy, we'll show them now. What's C4?
Plastic, Josh.
We're going to shop our way to victory?
2 kilos of plastic explosive. The detonator's broken now.
No problem. We'll buy a box of matches somewhere.
It doesn't work that way. It takes a small explosion to start the big explosion.
Well, that's not much use then. What does that sign say?
Apparently, during the English Civil War in the mid-17th century, this place was used as an arms dump.
Yeah? What happened?
Look at the state of this place, George. You work it out.
Oh, stray spark?
You got it. The tower was the only thing to survive the blast.
I hope the explosion didn't destroy the Sword of Baphomet.
Do you? I rather hope it did.
Nico?
Uh-huh.
The wheel turned reluctantly with a creak of complaint. There was no obvious way of removing the wheel from its housing. Examining the demon more closely, I realized something about its face. It was a clever illusion. No matter where I stood, the eyes weren't looking at me. There was a simple reason. The demon didn't have any eyes. I tried pushing the panel, but wasn't surprised when it failed to move. Nico?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
Committing this inscription to memory.
Can you read it?
No.
What's the point of studying the inscription if you can't read it?
Because it could be important. A clue to whatever we're looking for, who knows? I might find someone installing to translate it.
We don't have time to go looking for a linguist.
No? At least I am doing something positive.
What language is that inscription written in?
You're the languages student, you tell me.
It looks like ancient Norse. Maybe.
Perhaps it's in code.
I don't think so.
Not good.
The handle turned easily, and the larger wheel began to revolve. Damn! Then the handle came off in my hand. Now that the handle was gone, it was easy to remove the cog and spindle. The wheel turned reluctantly with a creak of complaint. There was no obvious way of removing the wheel from its housing. That is not a good idea. The cog slipped neatly into the eye socket. The wheel turned reluctantly with a creak of complaint. There was no obvious way of removing the wheel from its housing. There was no place I could attach the broken handle. A large arch led into the tower. I figured Scotland had had enough trouble with Burke and Hare without me trying my hand at grave robbing. No way were we leaving until the mystery was solved. There were lots of graves, some as recent as late Victoria. It looked like the long after. I scrabbled around in the rubble and found an old clay pipe with a broken stem. Under one of the stones, I found a metal coin which was green with age. It was caked with soil, but what I'd found was a small cog and spindle. With mounting excitement, I felt something between my fingers. It was short, hard, and black. Something I hadn't expected to find here. It was a plastic pen top. I didn't find anything. No way. With a rasp of metal on stone, I eased the second eye into place. Maybe not. I pushed the handle into the demon's mouth. The cogs all meshed. I began to turn. As soon as I saw the flickering torches, I realized the bogus Templars had beaten us to the sword. But where were they now? And why was it so quiet? Nico?
Uh-huh.
It looks like the Templars got here first.
We might not be too late. There's still a chance.
I wish I had your optimism.
So do I, George. Sometimes you're so negative.
It was definitely gunpowder, but it had solidified over the centuries it had lain here undisturbed.
No, George!
What?
Leave the torch right where it is, in case you haven't noticed the crypt is full of gunpowder.
So what? Don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust.
No? You think I'm a jerk, don't you?
Don't be silly, George. And keep your voice down. I thought I heard something. Like chanting.
I really wasn't worried about the danger of igniting the gunpowder. But Nico's temper was likely to flare up again. Now that scared me.
Listen, I can definitely hear chanting.
You're right. I hear it too. What do you suppose they're doing?
It wouldn't surprise me if they were holding some kind of satanic sex ritual.
So, what are we waiting for? Shh! Will you look at that? Baphomet. Lovino was right. This place was ancient even to the Templars.
This whole place? This is Baphomet?
Finally, the truth. The Templars had never worshipped this graven image, no more than they'd worship a rainbow. But, like a rainbow, they regarded it as a symbol of a covenant with God, who'd revealed this place to them.
Rosso! Why, the double-dealing treacherous?
On the contrary, Inspector Rosso has been the model of obedience, an important quality in a true Templar. Now be quiet and watch if you wish to live much longer.
Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here to witness the reforging of the sword that was broken. Here before God's sentinel, Baphomet. Master and Knight of Baphomet, we salute and pledge our obedience to you.
I salute you, gatekeeper of the temple. Seven centuries ago, our greatest weapon, the sword of Baphomet, was lost to us. Now we prepare to reforge it, to wield against new enemies. As the tired millennium dies, and this world looks for new leaders, we shall not fail. We shall lead the people to a new order, wherein all borders will dissolve. All will be united under the red cross of the Templars. George, we have watched your efforts to stop us with respect. But surely you realize that you have been misled by our enemies. Both of us want a better world. Fortunately, no harm has been done. We need determined, resourceful men like you. Join us, George. Join us in true brotherhood. Yeah, true. Wait, brothers? What about Marquet? What about Pegram and Klausner? You didn't look on them as brothers, only as failures. 3 men dead, and you don't give a damn! George, you know that sacrifices are necessary. Every great undertaking. Join you? I'll see you in hell first. Oh, George, I had great hopes for you. C'est la guerre est going to kill him. They will not escape.
Well, well. If it isn't the great detective and his beautiful assistant, it's going to be a pleasure killing the pair of you.
George, what are we going to do?
Come on, Nico. We're leaving.
You fools! You cannot escape us. Guido! Stop them.
But master, the powder!
That powder is from the English Civil War. You fool! It's over 300 years old. How explosive do you think it can be?
I thought it was all over, but Nico had one last trick up her sleeve. Or In her handbag, to be exact. A handbag full of plastic explosives.
Maybe, but this stuff is brand new.
Oh. You know, you'll never be able to write your story now.
I don't care. I've got what I want.
Huh?
Just tell me one thing, George. Is our life together always going to be this crazy?
Hello again.
What now?
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
No more than you, I'll bet.
Does this gem mean anything to you?
Aha! Is it real? It must be worth a small fortune. You stole it, I suppose.
I'm not a crook. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
I've got a toilet chain from a bar in Syria.
No, Kitty. A toilet chain? From Syria? You sad man.
What now, monsieur?
Check out my ID card.
Your ID card, monsieur? I don't think so.
No, it's Rosso's card.
Attempting to impersonate a policeman is a criminal offense, monsieur.
Ah, forget it. Thanks for your help, buddy. Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Does the name on this card mean anything to you?
Augustin Rosso? No, dear, nothing. It conjures up the image of a Gaulois smoking, absinthe drinking French policeman. I'm sure the real Inspector Rosso is nowhere near so romantic.
I think you'd be surprised.